questions without notice? Honorable Ogaiki, followed by Honorable Maduna.
My question is related to the Leader of the House concerning the entry of the Patriotic Act. I am asking the Minister as to when is the government going to enact this law as a matter of urgency?
Honorable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Sikase. I want to thank the honorable member for the very important question. I consider that it's a very important piece of legislation that we need. Most progressive countries, they protect their territorial integrity by ensuring that citizens do not go about selling out their countries to other nations. What I've done is I requested my officers in the police department to do a background research on it. We were slowed down by the COVID pandemic because we had a skeletal staff. But I can assure the honorable member that before the end of the year, we must see something happen. We are very much aware and we want to see that it happen.
Honorable Maduna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So good afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
Who is the acting minister of
The question
health? The
is
acting.
directed to the Honorable Minister of
I said I
Power Development. As it relates to government policy, what is government policy in relation to uranium enrichment
Okay.
from other minerals in order to produce renewable energy and enhance the availability of renewable energy migrating from fossil fuels?
Honorable Minister, NHS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the honorable member for a very timely question. Government is currently engaged in the process of coming up with a national integrated energy resource plan for the first time in this country. This process ensures that we take into account all the resources that we have in power. It is common knowledge that we have suffered from climate change to Kariba. It's also common knowledge that we depend a lot on coal. Now, government respects its international obligations regarding carbon footprint. And so, we are looking at all possible that we can have. And nuclear is one of them, which arises from uranium. We are now in the process of actively considering this possibility. And when we come to the point where we talk about uranium, I can assure the House that a lot of work will be done. And this is work in progress. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Supplement? Yes. You have the privilege of reading the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the privilege. Mr. Speaker, I just want to get the Honorable Minister to indulge me in terms of timelines. Is energy policy that is currently framing, and to what extent or to what point can we expect that we have traction in that regard? However, the European Union has set 20% migration in 2020 as benchmark for migrating and diverting from fossil fuels. What is the timeline, as a nation, we expect?
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank
Mr. Speaker, sir. My question is, Minister, what is the ministry's position in terms of taking biogas, especially to rural areas?
Thank you. Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, Speaker, and I also want to thank the Honorable Member for that question. It follows up on what I already said in the previous question. The country is taking every possible resource of power, and biogas is critical. We are already beginning to work with people in the provinces to educate people on what this really means and to ensure that as far as possible we take advantage of the biogas. We've done biodigesters in some parts of the country, and at an opportune moment I'll be able to finish the house with the details. But I want to assure the member that biogas is indeed part of our consideration.
Thank you. There is no further supplementary question. Honorable S. Martin, Honorable Dr. Labode.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Owamumbuzo usondana lomphathi wezamagagasi. Ngibuza ukuthi sikhangelele ukuthi abantwana bathola imfundo kumsakazo lakho konke nje okungancedisa isizwe. Ufika nini emaphandleni ukuzofikisa umsakazo endaweni ezahlukeneyo ezinye zinamapholo aselesikhathi ama ngikhangelele kakhulu elisezenga ekhaya. Ngiyabonga.
There's no information. Information system throughout the country, particularly in the rural areas. Government policy in general.
Abantu abahamba iphasi kwelabo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank Honorable Martin for that question. It's a lesson from you, Mr. Speaker, that you should like to know how the policy of government in terms of spreading information into the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe. The constitution of this country there's a provision for access to information for all. Section 61 and 62 talks to that, and that's precisely what the government policy is actually implementing. You have seen, we have been going around consulting our people in all grassroots areas. We will be issuing out community radios. This is another way of making sure that those areas where they didn't receive the signal of Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, both radio and TV, be able to actually receive their own radios, establish their own community radios. We are actually cognizant of the fact that there are certain areas where our Zimbabwe people, instead of actually receiving signal and getting news of their own countries coming from our radio or the DC, they have actually been receiving signal from Zambia. If you talk about those in Zambia and those in places like Manama and other areas also. This is why you have seen us moving into those areas, making sure that the community there they organize themselves, because community radios, the definition is the owners of the community. And as such, the community has got to get organized and do apply, and the deadline for that application, Tuesday, the 31st July 2020 for the community. In terms of making sure that information, especially COVID-19, we have gone out there training them about COVID-19 pandemic and the prevention and protective measures to make sure that we contain this disease. During this pandemic also, because the issue of the two-way communication between government and the people, we established a call center, which is a toll-free line, so that Zimbabweans all over the 10 provinces of our country can actually call. They don't need to have data in their phones, but they just call 2023 for anything they may want to know. This we actually established to remind that especially COVID-19 lockdown created a lot of anxiety among our people. So this call center, we have been receiving quite a lot of calls through that call center 2023. And I just want to let this, the August House and members of Parliament to know that please encourage your people to call the call center. It's 2023. We have more than 8 desks there. Right now we have 4 languages. People can call in Tonga, they can call in Shona, they can call in Lebele, and they can call in English. We are actually trying hard to make sure that we can actually create more desks so that we can actually use all the 16 official languages of this country. So we are doing this. The second Republic's work is to make sure that access to information gets to each and every Zimbabwean if they are right, if they are constitutional right. I hope I will be able to answer your question. Honorable Martin.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker, ngicela ukuzwisisa ukuthi njengoba sikhangele ukuthi abantwana bathole imfundo lokucebiswa ngezamaneshini ezizabuya njalo lokucebiswa ngeze-coronavirus kulendlela bantkhathesi engabi senziwe ukwenzela ukuthi labo abangafinyelelanga amagagasi benelise labo ukuthi bahambe ndawonye labanye abantwana eZimbabwe. Kukhangele ukuthi emakhaya le abantu kabafinyelwa ngamagagasi abezwa mhlawumbe ipolisi indlela eyenza ukuthi abantu bazuze okufanele babuze ezindleleni zabo.
Honorable Martin, I think the Honorable Minister was very comprehensive
Yes.
in her response
Yes.
and coverage. It will sound like we are being very redundant. If we have to stretch that further on what the Honorable Minister is actually replying. So, Honorable Minister, what's your call center? 2023 will answer your question, Honorable Martin.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Aware that you, Honorable Minister, we are undertaking a transmitter establishing
Address the Honorable Minister, address the chair. I don't want to include here.
I am very sorry, Mr. Speaker. Aware that Honorable Minister and your department is establishing transmitters in various areas. One would want to know how many of those are now ready and when would we expect the proto
Mr. Labone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My question is to the acting Minister of Health. In his absentia, it can go to the leader of the House.
Acting Minister what?
Health. In the absentia,
He's dead.
Yeah.
All right. You know, we have masks, so we can't see people.
Honorable Professor.
Okay. Acting Minister of Health. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Chair,
Mr. Speaker, sir.
my question is,
there's been a challenge with the issue of age of consent to health services, accessing health services. Please, I want to be understood properly. It's not age of consent to sex, it's age of consent to accessing services. We've been working on it, and we were promised by the Ministry of Health that they would review it or amend the Act to include that in the health service bill, which is supposed to be coming to Parliament. It hasn't come. A petition has been brought to Parliament on the issue. Nothing has happened. And we're hoping maybe the Public Health Act will be amended for that purpose. So I'm asking the Minister to say, Minister, how far? How far with the amendment of the age of consent to health services for the minors? Thank you.
how can you say, I'm talking Yazi, I was, and then you want the question to be sustainable? I think you know that aspect.
Okay, I will withdraw it.
Thank you.
Yebo, Minister. Sorry, Minister.
Thank you.
But you can do that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that's a very detailed question for a person who is just coming. But I've got my Deputy Minister, because in the meantime, we are really going to inspect everything before we can give substantive answers to some of the things. But my
Yeah, I'm very good.
Doctor, it's a very good question, Doctor. But I need to go and check and give more details report next week, because I'm not looking at that one. I'm going to do it next week. I will definitely give the House an answer which is detailed in this church.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sure you are happy with the response.
Yes, I am. There's a component where a petition has disappeared in this Parliament. The petition was brought in almost 3 months ago, and you have not read it here. So I'm assuming there's a problem somehow. Someone is not happy bringing that issue to the House. Thank you.
I shall investigate as well and find out what is happening.
Thank you.
If you have a copy,
Yeah.
if you have got a copy, you can assist.
Yes, I will. It's with the Council of Parliament.
Honorable Mugoni, Honorable Mugoni.
Ngiyabonga Mnumzana Speaker. Umbuzo wami uqonda the Minister of Lands, Agriculture and Climate Change. Umbuzo wami wangazelela ukuthi esikhathini esiningi wakubuye abantu sekuphuzile. Ngiyabonga Mr. Speaker.
Ngiyabonga. Honorable Minister, I think the two deputies are there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you to the Honourable Member for the question.
He understood the level.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm proud and happy to tell you that preparations for the summer session are already at an advanced stage. In fact, Honourable Speaker, sir, we started preparations as early as April of this year. We have two schemes on board, Honourable Speaker, as you know. There is the Presidential Input Scheme, which is almost complete in terms of procurement of inputs. And then we have the Command Agriculture Scheme. The Command Agriculture Scheme falls traditionally under the financial institutions. But Honourable Speaker, sir, with regards to presidential, we have slightly changed the design of the Presidential Input Scheme to ensure that we add what we call the Fumvudza concept. And the Fumvudza concept, Honourable Speaker, sir, is climate smarting our agriculture. This is certainly a requirement for us to be sustainable as a nation. And the Fumvudza concept, Honourable Speaker, sir, basically what we're saying to our farmers is that they must ensure that they are ready for the presidential. Presidential will go to those that have already prepared their mulching, their water harvesting, and if individuals have not, Honourable Speaker, sir, they will not benefit from presidential. So this is a precondition for them to benefit. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir.
Thank you.
Supplement.
Honorable Karamba.
Maita yenyu, Honourable Minister. Mubvunzo wangu kuti nyaya yekuvhudza thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honourable Minister, muri kutaura nyaya yepfumvudza kuti vanhu vachawana mainputs vanenge vagadzirira, asi isu nyaya yepfumvudza hatina ruzivo naro sema-honourable members. Handizoti zvingaitwe sei kuti tive neruzivo rwezvepfumvudza. Maita yenyu.
Honorable Karamba, you have not switched on a mic, so you are not recorded.
Maita yenyu, Mr. Speaker, ndinoda kungotenda Honourable Minister nemhinduro yavapa, asi chichemo changu ndechekuti nyaya yekuvhudza iyi tingaite sei kuti isvike kumaruwa, nokuti tiri kungoizwa ichitaurwa asi hatisi kuiziva kuti inomborevei uye inofamba sei, nokuti tinotya kuti vanhu vedu vanogona kuzoshaya mainputs ari kutaurwa. Maita yenyu.
Honorable Minister, import of the question is that what do you mean by being ready?
Ndinoda kutenda Mr. Speaker nemubvunzo wabvunzwa na-honourable member. Chirongwa chepfumvudza, Mr. Speaker, chirongwa chakanangana nekuda kupedza matambudziko anosanganikwa nawo nekushomeka kwemvura. Saka chirongwa chinoda kuti vanhu vazvipire, vanhu vashande nesimba, nekuti chirongwa ichi, Mr. Speaker, kutaura chokwadi chinorwadza. Saka kana tiri kuti vanhu ngavagadzirire, pane nyaya dzemakomba dzinoda kucherwa, dzinoda kugadzirwa. Saka kana tiri kuti vanhu vachapiwa ma-inputs ngavange vakachera makomba iwayo, tiri kureva kuti panofanira kunge pane gadziriro yevese vachapiwa ma-inputs iwayo. In terms of nyaya yekuti dare riziviswe, ndatenda Mr. Speaker, zvinoitika pachirongwa ichi, ndanga ndisingade kupinda kuma-technicalities echirongwa ichi, but zvinoitika pachirongwa ichi ndezvekuti pano ma-planting halls, ma-planting stations anofanira kucherwa because tinenge tichida nyaya dzemoisture conservation. Zvimwe zvimwe zvakadaro saka zvana mauching zvese zvinofanira kuzoita come into play patiri kuti varimi ngavagadzire tiri kuti varimi vachere makomba iwayo then pachazoda zvekuwaridza makomba iwayo kuti even kana zuva rikarova sei akuite that evaporation. Saka zvese izvo tiri kuzvitarisira kuti kuvarimi vachapuwa ma-inputs vanofanira kunge vakagadzirira in terms of awareness yeprogramu kuma-communities sekutya kwavari kuita kuti saka vanhu havasi kuziva vanozoshayiwa ma-inputs aiva sebazi rezvekurima muchaona kuti tichasvika kuma-constituency kwenyu kutanga next week tichange tichimhanya ma-agriculture officials edu vatove ready paground kuti tifambe kumavillage kwese tichidzidzisana kuti zvinofamba sei. Ndinobva nditore mukana uno Mr. Speaker kuti ma-members of parliament mukanzwa kuti tiri kukwenyu svikai mubva matodzidzawo kuti chirongwa ichi chinofambiswa sei titsigirane pachirongwa ichochi. Vanhu vese tinoshuwa kuti by the time tichazenge yapira ma-inputs munhu wese anenge awana information uye munhu wese agadzirira. Ndatenda zvikuru.
Honorable Matangira.
Sir. My supplementary, Mr. Speaker, said is, whilst we may have all the components that we may need, the kumbuza, the fertilizers, and the seed, his government and the Ministry of Agriculture peer into the atmosphere because of climate change. How is our season going to be in the 2021 season? Do we have any indication as to if we are going to have medium, average, enough rainfall?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. And thank you to the Honourable Member for the very wise and good question. Honourable Speaker, sir, traditionally, when we look at weather patterns, we look towards the October-November cycle. And so at this stage, Honourable Speaker, sir, we have just come out of 2 seasons of consecutive drought. So as ministry, we are planning for the worst, Honourable Speaker, sir. So therefore, that's why we are shifting towards climate-smart agriculture, because it's a necessary must. We have to plan for the worst, and anything that comes that's any better than that is just a clear bonus to us. But we have to certainly plan. We have the lives of our people, the livelihoods of our people and our nation. We have food security at our hands. We have food and nutrition security, should I say, at our hands, Honourable Speaker. So we cannot play with that, and therefore we are planning for the worst. But in terms of the announcement, it's only traditionally done towards the end of the year. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Supplementary. Honorable we agreed in this house that no points of privilege on Wednesday. I don't know what to call it. It's a point of clarification. A point of clarification.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
You could have done well by asking a supplementary question, actually.
I just want to request, if it's not too much to ask of the deputy ministers, that they present a statement to this House canvassing the entirety of this Mfufuza program. It sounds like a comprehensive program. Instead of us learning together with the rest of the citizens about the program, I would prefer a situation where we get a comprehensive statement and then we seek clarifications if we will indulge me, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
sir, that is a wonderful, wonderful suggestion. Honorable Speaker, sir, Fumvudza is at the center of our agriculture recovery plan. Agriculture recovery plan requires all stakeholders, government, donor agency, private individuals, including our members of parliament, our leadership. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, Honorable Speaker, sir, and we will prepare in accordance. Thank you.
You are not in the list. Next, not now. Sit down. Thank you. Honorable Timono.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr. Speaker.
supplementary, yes.
Mr. Speaker. Yangu follow up nezvepfumvudza zvekutaurwa iprogramu yakanaka ende ndinofunga kuti tichapuwa statement tichanyatsa kuinzwisisa. Ndari kukumbirawo kuti tizoudzwa kuti zvanzi kuchera mapunga uku kune kuchiitwa nemunhu wese ndiwo wachaona mainputs. Tine mawarivha honorable Chembere ndakasvika pazvaiitwa zvekuti Chembere dzinogona kunetseka nazvo. Ndoda kuziva kuti ministry ine urongwa hupi hwekuti Chembere idzodzo wakwegura wasingachagoni
The Honorable Deputy Minister was very clear. The statement will be given. Once that statement is given, then you can ask questions for clarification, including that one. Thank you. Honorable Timono.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My question is directed to the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology Development. To what extent is the Zimbabwe Higher Performance Computing Project, as a government policy, be regarded as an engine for economic growth and development in Zimbabwe? I thank you.
Honorable Professor Murena.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank Honorable Moy for the question on the Zimbabwe Center for High Performance Computing. Honorable Speaker, I'm happy to report that under our Innovation, Science and Technology Development Program, we have instituted now the High Performance Computing Center as a research institute under the Manpower Development Act. It's SI 169 of 2020. And under this, the Ministry of Treasury, the Ministry of Finance, have supported this to 24 courses. So the High Performance Computing Center is now a fully fledged research and development institute, and we call it Zimbabwe Science Park number 1. What are we going to do at Zimbabwe Science Park number 1? The Zimbabwe Center for High Performance Computing is going to focus on 2 divisions. The first division is understanding the high performance computer itself, which is the technical division. And the application division is going to be focusing on key areas that include health and medical research, genomics. It's going to look at space and earth observation sciences, geospatial sciences for mineral exploration. It is going to look at drug discovery. It is going to do engineering applications that need very high performance computing power. We believe that the future of this country is through the application of science and technology on its natural resources, understanding our natural resources better for exploitation for the purpose of the development of this country, giving this country enough national capability so that we can be able to meet Vision 2030 of becoming an alpha middle income economy. We believe that this is possible when we have the capability, because we can talk about Vision 2030 once the president has said we really need to develop steps which make sure that we reach that goal. And Zimbabwe Center for High Performance Computing, which is a Zimbabwe Science Park 1, is one of the integral applications that we are going to have of science and technology towards the development of this country in terms of all the areas that I've mentioned above. Thank you,
Mr. Speaker. How is the high performance computing project going to assist in solving contemporary problems, especially problems of our farmers, such as problems like climate change issues and also weather forecasting? Thank you.
Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank Honorable Moyo for the supplementary question. One of the main applications of the high performance computing center is weather and climate modeling, which is under the Geospatial and Earth Science division of the high performance computing, which we have instituted, Honorable Speaker. Coincidentally, I brought the whole concept of the high performance computer, and we actually have documented it so that we understand exactly what we want to do with the high performance computing center. So in terms of, because what we want is we can speak high language, but the long and short of it is that the high performance computer is going to tell us the likelihood of a drought or a lack of it. Not the computer itself, but the people who are working there using that computer. So we are looking at also an issue whereby it is going to support the Zimbabwe Space Agency, because the Zimbabwe Space Agency is co-located with the High Performance Computing Center. So all the observations that are going to be made by our satellites, which are going to be in space, and some of which we are using the international one, are going then to relay the information to the high performance community so that we talk about bread and butter issues on technology, delivering food, delivering weather, delivering soil condition, delivering population statistics, delivering everything that we need. So we believe that the high performance computing center, through well-thought applications, is going to help with agriculture using the method that I mentioned about. Again.
Supplementary. Honorable Angela.
chokwadi vanoisa vatiudza kuti ndauya zviri mubhuku tadii tamboita kuti panzvimbo yekuzvinyora mumapepa tozvinyora sezvazvaitwa izvi tonotora patinoita mabasa iwawo zvoonekwa zvobva zvatifambira toziva kuti zvanyorwa izvo tinodai taita kutaura tichiita tichitaura tichiita nokuti nzara iri munyika muno honorable speaker handi nyaya yekuti vanhu havagoni kurima paplanning apa ndo patiri kunofira hakuna mvura tichirima mbeu 7 ndati zvinogona here kuita kuti zvatazvinyora nemanakiro azveni tonoita practice tiwane zvibereko.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Tinotenda Honorable Speaker. Ndangotarisana asi hazvirei kuti ndoda kukupai chivimbo chakakwana Honorable Speaker, nokuti zvese zvatinotaura zvinoitika. Pfungwa dzedu dzinokonzeresa kuti tive namashoko tinotaura. Mashoko edu anokonzeresa kuita pavo, asi zvinhu zvese izvirikoneka. Chondoda kutaura ndechokuti gore rino tichitaura kudai pamusoro pezvanga zvichibvunzwa naHonorable Mwe zvazobvunzwa naHonorable Masangira, ndokuti nokuda kwejara inoitika munyika muno nenyaya yezvirimwa zvinorimwa pazvisingafaniri kuva nokuda kwokushayiwa ruzivo zvinokura here, takaita project under this high performance computer nespace agency yokugadzirisa ma-agroecological regions otinoti ma-natural regions enyika ino. Ndinoda kupa chirimo chokuti takafamba mashoko edu. Kufamba kwamashoko edu kunoreva kuti August uno nyamavhu tinenge tava nama-agroecological regions manyuwa. Kuda kuvimbisa through you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Matangira, kuti tikataura rekufanika zvisingaiti, asi kutaura zvichafanika zvisingaiti ndokokanyanya kunaka, nokuti zvakutaura sezvinoitika ndokokaita kuti sometimes zvinhu zvisaita zvakanaka in terms of our climate. Hapanogurwa zvakati. Saka ruzivo tsvakurudzo basa rangu ndokuti tiunzire ruzivo rutsva kuti tisataura zvataingotaura ruzivo titaure zvochaitira mangwana. Saka zvese izvi ndinoda kupa chivimbo chokuti hatingotauri tinoita.
My follow-up question was basically on the timeline. In particular, as it relates to interrogating the MENA, the High Performance Computer Center is going to work in terms of adding value to our minerals in particular. When is that going to be in place so that we can derive maximum benefit, as alluded to, in the mineral sector, in particular, on the 60 non-minerals that we are involved with as a nation, so that we can now start collaboration, coordination, and networking, and get out of the BBC, the computer.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank Honorable Duna for the supplementary question regarding mineral exploration. One of the main programs that we are running with the High Performance Computer is mineral exploration techniques. This is a program that was that we started funding in 2018, and we believe that it's because any country has no way mineral resources are, so that we run away from words such as abundant, in doubt, and just say how many nuggets and how much in terms of kg. So the high performance computer will make us be able to talk about our mineral resources the way we talk about a bank account, whereby you say out of 1,000 possible dollars, I withdrew 300, so I'm left with 700. So this is research programs, and research programs about mineral resources is one of the key functions that we are performing at the High Performance Computing Center. Okay.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we are really going to stick to 3 supplementary questions. Having said that, Honorable Minister, Professor
Honorable Speaker, I also am happy to say this booklet is also on the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development website. So, Honorable Speaker, we can make, if people, honorable members want to make immediate access to it, they can access the website. But if they really need hard copies like what I have, I'm happy to say we will avail copies this month. Okay.
All members of Parliament, thank you, Honorable Minister, that the content is on the website. All honorable members for tablets now, you can liaise with the Clerk of Parliament and send them the soft copies directly to each member of Parliament. Thank you. Next question, Honorable Mabenga, followed by Honorable Mashagada.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mtundo wangu wakanangana Honorable Minister Lands, Agriculture and Climate. Mtundo wangu Honorable Speaker, taida kuisa kutumende ino uronga upi kamusoro kuyokomete sector na ikwe equipment yekulimisa yechirongwa cheJohn Deere kuti ukwanise kuti zvisvikewo nekuma-districts nokuti nguva ino yeCovid vamwe vari kundikana kuenda kumataundi kaide kundoaplya zvozokonzera kuti vanokwanisa kugara chikuaplya vapedzera vangovanawo matrakta vamwe vakawana minda vasina mukana kutowana matrakta iwayo saka dauza kuti hurumende urongwa hwavo hwakamira sei kuti maprovinsi ose akwanise kuwanawo matrakta iwawa zvakaenzanirana.
Either the two guest ministers, Honorable Kororo. Kororo.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Kororo is the Speaker. Honorable Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ndoda kutenda honorable member nemubvunzo wawabvunza wandinodarira kuti uchabatsira vazhinji kumaruwa. Nyaya dzematarakita kana kuti mechanization equipment zvekurimisa mabhidho zvekuspreyesa mapiro azviri kuitwa Mr. Speaker sei hurumende yaisimbopa directly kumafamasi kana kuvarimi kumashure but zvakaonekwa zvine matambudziko ekuti panga pakunzonzi pane favoritism iri kuitwa pane vanhu vane mazita makuru chete ndovari kungopuwa izvo zvisiri izvi saka kupedza mutauro iyoyo Mr. Speaker chirongwa ichi chakaiswa kune mabhengi kuti ndiyo administer chirongwa ichi asi hurumende yakaita izvi mushure mekunge yaona kuti hakuna vanhu vanozodisadvantage. Saka kurudziro yangu yandikape pano ndeyekuti Mr. Speaker vanhu kana uri kuda tractor kana ungawe uri kuda gepi unoaplya kumabhengi anotevera CBZ, Stanbic Bank kana kuti Agribank. Ndinodavira kumaprovinsi kwese mabhengi aya anowanikwa. Saka munhu ari kuda chaari kuda unoaplya uchispecify kuti ndiri kuda tractor. Matractor iwaya ane masizes saka unobva watoindicata masizes. Mukaenda kubhengi munopiwa application form pamune muchizofila information yezvamuri kuda. Saka izvi zvakaitwa nenzira yekuti hakuna province, hakuna tingati kana race inganzi yadisadvantage because zvinhu izvi zviri kunzi ndezvevarimi vemuZimbabwe vanoda kurima kuti nyika yedu igute. Saka hazvisi kutarisa race yemunhu, hazvisi kutarisa kuti unoenda kuchechi ipi, hazvisi kutarisa kuti unowe bato ripi, zviri kutarisa kuti uri murimi here anokwanisa. Tenda
kuminista kuti pandinoenda kubhengi kunenge kuchidiwa chiti qualify kuti wane directed kana dzecho.
Mr. Speaker, toda kutenda honorable member nemubvunzo wenyu wamabvunza. Kwete Mr. Speaker, zvingode kuti ukanyorera watowana tract. Zviri kuitika ndezvekuti ichi chirongwa chephase 1 chemechanization. Saka ichi chirongwa chiri kutarisa ma-A2 vari high productive kana kuti vagara vane mbiri kana mukurumbira yekurima uye mukurumbira yekuendesa zvavaisimborima kuGMP. Ivavo ndo vari kupiwa priority. Vamwe vese vanogona kuaplya zvavo, vanogona kukonsidwa, asi chakanyanya kunangana nema-A2 farmers vane mukurumbira. Pane chimwe chephase 2 chiri kuzouya chichange chakananganawo nemasmall scale farmers. Kureva kuti vanhu vese vanenge vakafa. Zviri kunyanya kutariswa honorable member vabvunza mubvunza. Sekutaura kandaita kuti munofanira kuti mune mbiri yekurima. Vebank kana maendesa application yenyu kubank, vachazouya kana kuti vanotuma vanhu vavo kuzoona kuzoverify kuti zvichokwadi mune mukurumbira here wekurima wamakataura. Ipapo ndo panozobuda nyaya yese kuti munowirirana here kana kuti hamuwirirani. Government haina involvement. Bank mune mapedzelana nebank. Uye zvinochadiwa yanikati deposit, Mr. Speaker, yekuratidza kuti zvishwashwa ndikuda tractor ende ndikuda kurima tindikwanise kuzobhatara mari inenge yasara. Saka pane deposit mune ndizotaurirana nebank zvichienderana nekuti muri kuda tractor here kana kuti muri kuda gejo here. Matractor sekutaura kandaita ane masaizi akasiyana siyana. Saka munosarudza tractor yamune muchida mobva mabhadhara deposit yacho
nebond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir. My supplementary question is in view of the fact that these very limited tractors are going to be allocated on the basis of performance. Is it possible for the ministry to avail to parliamentarians a database showing previous records of productivity so that we can play our oversight for? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you, honorable member. It is very possible, Mr. Speaker, to come up with a database. These are records, and those records are there. If Parliament wants to have a look at the list, we are prepared to bring the list to Parliament.
Thank you. Honorable Producer, last supplement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From the way the minister is explained, it doesn't seem to be an immediate process that we, after applying, we get a check. But how does the minister explain the fact that the program was launched and on the same day, I met several people driving away with their John Deere tractor. The same day it was launched.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker said, to the best of my knowledge, no tractor was driven that day, unless if the honorable member of Parliament is prepared to bring evidence to our ministry, we will then make investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question is directed to the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Sekai Nzenza. Minister, in recent weeks, we have seen the skyrocketing of prices of basic commodities, day in, day out. What policy measures is government putting in place to A, stabilize prices of basic commodities, B, stimulate domestic production so as to contain imported inflation. Thank you.
Honorable Minister Dr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Honourable Member of Parliament for the question regarding what processes are we putting in place to stabilize the skyrocketing of prices. It's certainly true that we have witnessed prices continuously going up to the extent that we had a stakeholder meeting with the retailers and in good faith agreed to put on a moratorium on price rises. And I would like to admit, Mr. Speaker, say that it was not as effective as we thought it was going to be. The major problem, Mr. Speaker, say, is that we are struggling with the exchange rate. We need to stabilize the economy, and that is also impacting on the prices. And secondly, the other problem is, yes, we do have some difficult people who are not so sympathetic to the consumer. And we are appealing to those who continuously raise prices to be a bit more cognizant and sympathetic to the ordinary citizen. And thirdly, as a ministry, we are looking at import substitution. And in doing so, we are working quite closely with Ministry of Agriculture to look at the agriculture recovery plan, manufacturing, with a view to increasing the production of raw materials within the country. So what is happening, Mr. Speaker said, is that this requires different line ministries to work together in order to meet the presidential mandate towards increased employment, import substitution, innovation with the Ministry of Higher Education, so that our vision will become true. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Dr. Mashabela.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the reply, the answer. Can you favor this House with a timeline within which the import substitution measures are going to be implemented?
Honorable Minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to thank the Honourable Member of Parliament for the question. We do have a strategy looking at import substitution. And within this strategy, we are looking at what we're calling the low-hanging fruit. And these are key priorities. And one of them is looking at the pharmaceutical industry. And the second one is looking at the fertilizer industry. So what you will see in this coming season, we will be producing fertilizer locally, and that is a timeline. And we are also looking at the leather to cotton industry. And again, by the end of this year, we will show results. That is the timeline. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Another supplementary?
Not from the same.
Okay.
Honorable Musigawan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Said. My question is directed to the Acting Minister of Health. In view of the rising numbers in the COVID-19 pandemic and the planned opening of schools later this month, what is government policy in respect of continued use of education premises as worshiping centers? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to thank Honorable Kawan for that question, for clarifying what is going to happen to schools that are being used as quarantine centers. Honorable Speaker, it is important to know that the rise in cases can be disaggregated. Most of the cases are imported cases. Therefore, quarantine centers have been very important places to contain that. We also, of course, have got local transmission. That mostly is related to the imported cases, which means they are the conduct of the imported case. So in terms of the policy on quarantine centers, the task force already started moving away from schools and colleges. I think in terms of colleges, by this week, they would have cleared and then we do
What does the Speaker say? With due respect, Mr. Speaker, say my question was not related to use of schools as
sanitizers.
My question is the use of schools as washing centers. What is the government policy on the continued use of
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry about misinforming that I thought you said quarantine. As worship centers, I think the guidelines are very clear in terms of what is that. We have to be more careful. The issue is that the schools are schools, but they can also be used for certain functions. As long as the function that is there is conforming to the World Health Organization guidelines as adopted by the guidelines issued by my ministry, the government of Zimbabwe through my ministry, then we don't see a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am aware that all schools which were used as quarantine centers were fumigated. They were all fumigated, and by allowing worshippers these schools, are we not bringing about this spreading the disease COVID-19? Especially, why not allow worshippers to use other premises which are not schools?
Perhaps the Honorable Minister of Private and Secondary Education speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank the member for asking the question. In fact, this morning I gave a directive, Mr. Speaker, that churches must move out to preparations for the opening of schools. I sent that directive this morning.
Thank you. You want the answer, Honorable Moyo?
Yes, thank you.
Supplementary.
Last supplementary, Honorable
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm very concerned about students opening end of this month. Because what we are seeing, a case in point is the, may so rest in peace, Mr. Swanda. Mr. Swanda worked in the government department, which is currently closed. And Mr. Swanda, who died of COVID recently, he worked in a government institution, normal. He did not present with COVID symptoms. He lived with his children in Norton. He went to a workshop in threats. The time frame between him being infected, which we don't know, and the time he died, and left and died without telling us where his contacts are, is frightening. Because Mr. Sanders student, I'm sure, like a lot of other COVID people, will go to school on the 31st. I hope we will not lead ourselves into another lockdown like in Madagascar. Thank you.
Honorable Minister,
yes, and I thank the honorable member for her worries and indeed the whole country needs to be worried. We all need to do the best we can to prevent the spread of this disease or this pandemic. Mr. Speaker said, we do the best we can at the schools to protect our learners, our children, the teachers, and all staff members of each school. We have thermometers in each school, we have sanitizers, we have masks. So do the best we can to make sure that nobody is affected by the illness. We do the best we can. And that's why we need the cooperation of everybody. The schools, managers, the administration, the parents, the general public, to make sure that our children go back to school in an environment that will protect them as much as we can. Thank you.
thank you. Honorable Massenja, followed by Honorable Vacation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir. I would like to commend the government for putting a lot of effort on the agricultural program. But I would like to inquire whether there is or there will be a policy to adjust the buying price for maize, as we see that there is an adjustment on the rate at which the US dollar is exchanged with our Zimbabwe dollar. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir.
Thank you. Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, and thank you to the Honorable Member for the very wise and good question. Honorable Speaker, a few months ago, we announced a new producer price, and then fairly recently, we announced an incentive to our farmers of about 30% if farmers delivered maize in July. Honorable Speaker, I can tell you that certainly we understand that the environment is changing daily, and our ministry has also put a proposal to have a further incentive. But at this stage, Honorable Speaker, nothing has been agreed, although we do understand the need to ensure that something is put in place. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Kashil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My supplementary question, Mr. Speaker, is what are the chances that the cotton price is also going to be reviewed?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the cotton price was fairly recently announced, and you will remember, Honorable Speaker, that it had a component of US dollars of about $10 per bale. So at this stage, Honorable Speaker, I think it would be premature for us to stand here and promise the nation anything. At this stage, the cotton price remains, although we do understand there are other problems that are surrounding the cotton industry. But specifically, to answer the Honourable Member's question, at this stage, not. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, tata kuziva kuti mikotoni yakaitwa manje manje asi haina kuitwa nge-US yakaitwa ngezimudhora riri kudonha every day. Saka parikutarisirwa here kuti nekuti takaenda kukomisa speakers vanhu vaita pakaitwa prize yekotof waitaisa kutenga UG tractor nei asi nawo akacalculata haichabati chinhu. Saka kwachaitwa adjustment here vanhu vasitobhadharwa tokaisa kotonewa muna May nanhasi apane tabhadharwa asi izwa kudhora. Saka kwachaitwa adjustment here pamaprize awewa.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I think the question is one and the same as the previous question. But Honourable Speaker, I want to point out that cotton farmers receive inputs for free. It's different than other crops, tobacco, maize, wheat, soybeans. So again, at this stage, Honourable Speaker, I think it's impractical to stand up and guarantee the nation that something will be reviewed. It's not really within our ministry. We can certainly put recommendations, but at the end of the day, it has to be decided from the Ministry of Finance. But like I mentioned, Honourable Speaker, sir, if the situation changes, then certainly we back our farmers and we will stand with our farmers. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Another supplementary? That's the last one.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Supplement yangu ilikuenda kuna Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Minister, my farmers have found a challenge kutambura chibage vachinisa ujengi. Noti my private buyers, so my private transporters vakusangana challenge yedhisi. Mune facility here government yekuti ibatsiridze my farmers vaise chibage.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member. Certainly, Honourable Speaker, we received these challenges some time ago with regards to transport. I think it's not only unique to the agricultural sector, I think it's unique to each and every one of us, even in here today. Honourable Speaker, what we've done to mitigate these challenges in the short to medium term is that we've actually increased the number of buying stations under GMB. We've also tried to assist our farmers with transport from those buying stations to the GMB depots. And what we've also done is we've asked commercial farmers to also act as centers for us to be able to buy. So these are the measures that we've taken, but certainly transport, Honourable Speaker, is a major challenge, mainly because fuel, the liquid fuel, is unavailable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was next.
Short announcement. The following vehicles are obstructing or blocking other vehicles. ADX A903 is a silver Land Cruiser, and ATV 3896 navy blue Mercedes-Benz. Please, if you can move your vehicles so that you don't obstruct other vehicles. Otherwise, the two vehicles will be cramped. Honorable Deputation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Long kuenda kuna Minister of Transport. Kubva pakatangwa matogeti takawimbiswa kuti tichafamba mutererini rodzi dzakanaka. Asi kubva kusvika nhasi marodhi edu kunyanya kumaruwa atova worse than paanga chekuita matogeti. Saka ndauziva kuti pane matogeti iri kusenzera here basa rayo kana kuti yangova tora mari United.
Tora Marina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir. Noted the honorable member, Second Republic, though Machukola Basa Kawanda Ritwa Pamshakwa. Taka Naganema for those authorities are info. Alikuwa na marikuzi nara do inokupa mari kuti migwagwa igadzirwe, asi tine matambudziko atinopiwa nei pakushanda kwatinenge tichiita kana kuti atakawana aripo akagadziriswa. Chokutanga in-management yezinara. Sezvamunoziva kwanga kune mhirizhonga nekusanya kushanda zvakanaka nehuora ndo zvakasvotanga kuswatanudzwa izvozvo. Zvaswatanudzwa iye zvino taane bhodhi itsva, zvekare taane management itsva, maposition ese maexecutives ane vanhu. Chitima chakufamba zvakanaka. Zvino mari yanga ichikuda kubva kuzinara yakanga yakuchimhanya zvino kuenda kunokavha backlog dzimwe dzanga dziripo. Iyoyo ndo zviri kuitika nanhasi, zviri kuitika zvinhu izvozvo. Uyezve sezvamunoziva, vamwe vanondifonera kuti minister mari kukwidza from $10, vamwe vaizaiva na 150 or 200, vanhu vari kutaura. Asi ndo zvinhu zvandakatarisana nazvo kuitira kuti migwagwa yedu irambe ichigadziriswa, ichikwidza mari dzatinobhadhara pamatollgate. Asi zvinoendawo zvekare, hazvisi ipapo chete, zvinoendawo zvekare kumanagement yekumaroads authorities. Vane marequirements avanofanira kuti vaite vasati vapuhwa mari. Ndo zvinhu zvatinoona kuti vanotora nguva yekuita marequirements ivayo, roads dzotadza kugadzirwa, vanhu votanga kuti hurumende haisi kugadzira migwagwa. Saka inyaya yatanga tichiita maworkshop navo, tichikurukura navo kuti zvinhu zvinyatsoitwa align. Asi panyaya dzekugadzira migwagwa, Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, migwagwa iri kugadzirwa kwakawanda. Takatarisana nezviri kuitika munyika medu. Kutanga number 1, cyclone Idai, number 2, drought, number 3, izvo zvatave nazvo pandemic iripo izvi. Pese kuti paitorwa mari ichienda zvinoshanda zvangonyuka chete. Asi takaramba, hurumende yakaramba ichiita basa. Mukarasa mugwagwa kwese kwatinobva kumaprovinsi kwedu, madistricts kwedu, kune migwagwa iri kutogadzirwa izvozvo. Zvichireva kuti takaturamba nenguva yakawanda kudai tiri kushanda tichigadzira migwagwa iyoyo. Saka ndoda kutenda honorable member nebvunzo wako. Thank you.
Ndazwa Mulisa vachitaura zveshuwa chimwe zvavandizire chokwadi mari vari kuisa covid, mari vari kuisa kuti asi pavanotora mari dzedu netollgate dzonzi nedzerodi. Saka munoda kuti rodi dzacho toramba kubhadhara here minista kuti haisi kusenza mumarodi, kuti marodi omanozegwa hakuna chiripo. Munhu wese hafambi kuna mashuorodi, munhu anofamba wese wagona matollgate kuti maruzevha marodi edu haasi kugadzirwa. Saka muchatigadzirawo marodi harini.
Ndinotenda Speaker. Handina kuti ndati zvaitika zvese zvaita slow down. Slow down. Kuti pane zvinoitika asi zvaakuitawo zvichifamba zvishoma nezvishoma. Iye zvino takapa mari kune malocal authorities akati wandei. Mungakwanisa kuwadoma zvamudiye zvinezvi. Asi pamunobva imi mukada kuitarisa munonzwa kuti havasati vareceivawo here mari yabva kuZinara. Munonzwa kuti nenzira yei vasati vareceiva. Munogona kuuya kuno makutobatsirana nemutaura zvatiri pano. Saka chinangwa chikuru ndechekuseka ndataura ndezvekuti ma-toll gates ngange tichisimudzira kuti mari ikwire tikwanise kuramba tichigadzira migwagwa yedu zvibva tikutarisa izvi zvicharamba zvichitariswa kuita kuti ngogwe iramba ichishanda. Zinara basa rayo ndekutora mari ichipa kuma-roads authorities nekumeka sure kuti mari iyoyo yashanda zvakanaka. Saka saka ndataura mitemo iyoyi yekuti ishande zvakanaka iripo kuma-authorities iko. Kazhinji kacho zviri kubva kuma-local authorities zviri kunetsa kuti kuitwe basa nekukasika nekuti havasi kuita fulfill ma-conditions. Saka zvinoda kuti mimi maendawo kuma-constituency kwedu ngaraida mose pasi nema-councillors nema-council zvedu munoona kuti zvinotofambira text for the betterment of our development.
Supplementary. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Ndoda kutenda Honorable Minister Ramatiza nemhinduro yavapa. Ndoda zvekutenda President Idi Mnangagwa vakatirongera mabhazi eZUPCO akadai kusonaka ende vanhu vari kufara zvikuru. Nawo dambudziko ratinaro Ramatiza nderekuti kumamisha uku mabhazi emaZUPCO asikwanisa kuenda nekuda kuti marodzi edu akagara zvakanaka. Mune urongwa hwupi kutigadzirira marodhi ekumamusha kuti vanhu vomusha vakwanise kudi kuwana mabhazi.
Same question.
I wish the minister could explain this growing trend. When a road has been started, we expect that all the scope of work, the budget, and everything has been done and material is acquired to site. But there is now a growing trend that a road is started, Mr. Speaker. They start working 2-3 months, they disappear for 2 years. If nothing happens, then suddenly they appear. What would be happening? What is the problem? If the minister explain to us. Because all roads that they never get completed. At some stage, you know the contractor will disappear. I'm sure the minister got it. There is a growing trend that roads are started, and hopefully all the equipment will have been put on site. But suddenly they disappear for some years, then resurface. What is the problem?
And do 1 kilometer and go.
Experience. Thank you.
Correct? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the honorable member for the question. What normally happens is that roads are funded, and we do that here in terms of budget allocation.
Deputy Minister.
And budget allocation is done annually. And in some instances, in some which was now becoming a rare issue, before the catastrophe of Hyundai and subsequent catastrophes. So this then leads to certain prioritization. I'll give you an example of what is happening right now. that we have some roads that have reached priming stage. Some roads have just been cleared. Now, those that have reached priming stage, if they are left like that, that means you are going to lose that material and you are going to lose the money. So the issue of prioritization then means we have to leave certain roads and prioritize the roads that are at a certain level. This is a funding issue, Honorable Member. It's a funding issue, Honorable Speaker, which I'm very sure the Honorable Member is aware. But where I come is to explain the issue of prioritization when you get to areas where there is budgetary deficit. This is where we come in and select certain portions of the roads that will go at certain levels where a lot of expenditure is done. So this is what we are doing now. The issues of the roads, various programs, I can name them, that we have now reprioritized as we speak now. And the Minister of Finance has released 250 million as of yesterday to now pay all the contractors who have not been paid so that they can restart this project. So this is how the trend goes. And in some cases, it's not the government's problem. It could be the contractor themselves. Sometimes they mismanage their fund. And they don't go ahead and go. In those cases, we terminate and bring other contractors on board. That takes a bit of time to rearrange. So, Honorable Member, I want to assure you that whenever funding is available, whenever the funding that we vote for here is made available, the work continues.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker, what safeguards has the ministry put in place so that the monies that are contributed through toll gates and other sources are not misused by local authorities, especially what we've seen with the centers, where they receive that money and end up buying some big vehicles at the expense of residents.
Yes, I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the honorable members. When the money has been allocated to a local authority, which has all the functionaries of an authority, we expect them to take care of that money and use it properly. Any other way of using it, misappropriation is into corruption. However, we have an audit section where saying we want to, through Zinara will go and make sure that those monies are properly used by way of auditing and by way of reports. But largely, an authority is an authority. Given their budgets, they sit in their council chambers, they allocate the roads they want to do, their engineers there. They also have an audit section to see that this is work. So to a certain extent, it is the misappropriation is an issue of misgovernance at that level. I think.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would want to know from the Honorable Minister what plans is to increase the charges at the toll gates, aware that this is where the money for the rehabilitation, reconstruction, maintenance of the road network comes from, and also the road access fees, aware that we are the lowest in the putting them in place. We are paying $10, it's used to $10 US. As they have plans to put it up to that so that we can have our people infrastructure second to none. We should actually use it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the honorable member. Question, please. Just in fact, we are almost at the concluding stage of revising the talk. We are cognizant of the fact that our roads need to be of high standard. We are cognizant of the fact that our roads need to be accident-free, and also of the fact that they have to be commensurate with the regional road network in terms of quality. So this is why we have looked at the toll charges, and very soon, before the end of the month, we will be gazetting them. I think.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the minister sitting next to me here, the deputy minister. It's about the government policy on the rehabilitating roads that were dug and built in the 1940s and 1950s. Because these roads seemingly are now getting out of use. The breakdowns are so numerous that perhaps I think they need complete rehabilitation and overhaul. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Sorry. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for the question. Certainly, Honourable Speaker, water is a basic human right, and our ministry understands its mandate. The rehabilitation of bores around the country is a top priority of our ministry. It's actually what we call a load-bearing fruit because it doesn't involve drilling new ones. And our ministry so far this year alone has rehabilitated in excess of 1,800 bores and deep wells. So to answer specifically what the Honourable Member is asking, there are certain bores that were drilled, I think that's almost 8 decades or 7 decades ago. And at some stage, bores do certainly become, let's say, past their best before. So our ministry, in line with the rehabilitation of bores, also has facilities to drill new bores. And Zinwa under our ministry is in charge of drilling in 2 provinces specifically, and DDF are in charge of the balance of the provinces. So it is certainly an ongoing process, but given the challenges with the finances, and given recently the challenges with liquid fuel, our ministry has not been able to do it to its full optimal level. And certainly we hope that in the near future this becomes a thing of the past. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, perhaps the minister is talking about this rehabilitation of 1,700 from different areas from where I come from myself. In my area, Mr. Speaker, which is the boreholes are just not being serviced. And if I may just make it open, I hate Cholocho North, Mr. Speaker. We have a serious problem of water in that area. And it is disheartening that the minister can answer me and say they have been rehabilitating boreholes, yet the boreholes there have outlived their lifespan. I didn't want to say that, but that's what I realized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And certainly thank you again to the Honourable Member. Honourable Speaker, sir, we have have what we call WASH, our WASH program, which is at district level. So the job actually of rehabilitating and repairing individual bores actually falls at district level. And so certainly I've taken note of what the Honourable Member has mentioned, and I'm happy to say the Honourable Member has even come to my office once before to raise these issues. And so I will I'll make undertaking rather to ensure that we do prioritize. Certainly the southern regions of our country are very dry and need a great amount of support, and that is certainly what our ministry will do. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir.
Honourable Speaker said, in the life of the 8th Parliament, we were promised by the same ministry that they will drill 4 boreholes in each constituency. Could I kindly check with the minister if this is still in the pipeline? And he has indicated that the drilling of boreholes is a low-hanging fruit. Is he able to provide timelines as to when we are going to get those 4 boreholes a constituency? Thank you, Honourable.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I'd like to correct the Honourable Member. I said the rehabilitation of bores is a low-hanging fruit. Certainly the drilling of bores is a much greater cost and a little bit more difficult. Honourable Speaker, I am a proud member of the 9th Parliament. I was not around in the 8th Parliament. However, I do know from my predecessor, my personal constituency.
As I'm a proud member,
Honourable Speaker, when I raise issues in the past, I'm aware that he is a new member, but this is a house of record, and the ministry existed. So it is for him to read and make sure he's up to speed with what has been happening in the house before he came.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, unfortunately I was cut off before I could finish my sentence. Honourable Speaker, what I was saying is that I know from my predecessor who did receive the 4 bores in his constituency, and therefore I do certainly know about this. What I meant to say to the Honourable Member was that I don't know specifically which constituencies were done and which constituencies were not done. It's possible that some constituencies had 2 bores, for example, instead of 4. So the undertaking that I was going to say before I was stopped, Honourable Speaker, is that certainly I will look at the 210 constituencies and ensure that we do at least put in line that we do complete this project, even though it is in the 9th Parliament. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Sir.
One more issue. I just want to add one quick item. Yes, I need clarity. If one member of this house got 4 boreholes already, what is the criteria of prioritization? Because I come from the driest part of the country, and it would beat any manner of sensible thinking why we were not put up first.
So
Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for the fantastic question. I am also an advocate of the same Honourable Speaker, I will tell you, and as well as our ministry. We are certainly trying to move away and go into what we also deem climate smart methods of dealing with our water and sanitation issues. And so certainly we are shifting towards that, but again, Honourable Speaker, the major constraint is the finances. And so as the finances come, we would like to look at these. I know certain bores, for example, anything between 40 to 50 meters can still be used by bush pump. Anything deeper than 50 meters is very difficult. You almost damage the equipment. So this is very well known within our ministry, and certainly in the near future will be prioritized. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Muvunzo wangu unoenda kuna Minister of Health in Traffic. Minister, urongwa hupi kwamuri kuita kuvanhu vedu vari kubva kuSouth Africa nekuBotswana kuti pavanenge vachibva ikoko vari ikoko vasatapurirana utachiona hunge hweCovid-19 lokuva vachibva vari mubhazi rimwe chete. Urongwa hupi kwamunahwo kuti pavanoungana vasatapurirana utachiona?
Ministry in government through the ministry letters, even at not my right, at not saving, kuitira kuti vanhu vasatapurirana kana kuti minimize chance yokutapurirana kuvanhu. Saka hurumende through ministry iri kushanda zvakaomara kuitira kuti zviitike. Saka ndikangoti maguidelines iwawo akatevedzera atiinawo akanyorwa zvinosiyana.
Honorable Minister, mvunzo wangu transfer from Botswana South Africa vachienda kuMalawi, kana mabhazi akufamba panogona kuita breakdown yemabhazi iwayo. Vanhu ivavo vanopedzisira vangogara vasina kubetserwa, zvopedzisira kuti vanhu ivavo vanenge vakuzopedzisira vakuspreada chirwere. Mune urongwa hupi kuti vanhu ivavo kana vachienda kunyika kwavo votadza kusvika vaita breakdown? Takafanana nazvo izvi zvakaita kuti nanhasi vanhu vacho Malawi yakatadza kubatsira vanhu vanokasika kusvika chinoita kutopemha chikafu kubva muvanhu. Mune urongwa hupi hwekubatsira vanhu ivavo munhu kana vaita breakdown?
Urongwa hwedu hakunokoti vanhu vatapurirane kutambura. Njodzi dzinoitika mugwagwa dzinozviziva. Saka kana vanhu vari kufamba munyika medu, tinozama nepatinogona napo kuti urongwa hwandataura mumagwaro emagaidhani hutevedzerwe. Ndiro gwaro redu tinaro rinotiudza zvekuita kana pachinge paitika